Thank you all for coming. I do want to just jump in. What I'd like to do is break the workshop into 4 sections. I want to talk about why optimism is important and what it actually is and what it isn't. What gets in the way of optimism and some of the challenges about the language of optimism, what the words of optimism are, and how to encourage optimism in others. Chris Peterson, University of Michigan professor, actually one of the top guys in positive psychology, has summarized the research on optimism as having been linked to positive mood and good morale, to perseverance and effective problem solving, to academic, athletic, military, occupational, and political success, to popularity, to good health, and even to long life and freedom from trauma. So that's pretty big. There's a lot of reasons that people aren't optimistic. Biology, temperament, wiring. Some people really are born more optimistic, and some people are really born more focusing on, pessimism. But that's about 50%. That's what they're saying. You still have a lot of power to change your life, but that's part of the issue. Your style. You may just be a conservative, modest person. You don't like to be like pushing it. It'll be great. Well, I'll do this. Maybe that's just your style. Okay, relationship to others. If I'm with you and you're just always trying to get me to see the good, I'm not going to be optimistic just because I need some power. And here's a very interesting thing about pessimism. Optimists, when they're doing solution-focused work, come up with a lot more ideas. They're more open, they're more creative to coming up with solutions. Pessimists come up with fewer ideas that tend to be bitter. So having a critical eye is not a bad thing. In this culture, the optimist is the king or the queen. We like the we can do it attitude. And it's a shame, actually, because pessimism has a lot to contribute. It's how you do your pessimism. So if you do that, and by the way, I'm actually not an optimist, I'm a defensive pessimist. And I'll tell you what that is. I discovered that when I was doing all this research. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to work to kind of push it, but I also embrace my defensive pessimism. This is the language of optimism. In terms of permanence, okay, when you're saying something is challenging, you add a time limit to it. For instance, my life is horrible. Doesn't that sound like that's going to last forever? Right now, my life is horrible. Same life, same horrible. Just adding right now makes you feel like at some point this will be over. So today, this last 15 minutes, the smaller you can get it, the better. This week hasn't been great. Lately, things have been a little, because you want to minimize the negativity, a little challenging. You get that? So what is your action step? Is there one thing that you heard today that you're going to actually take with you and do?
I want to go through that inventory that you're talking about for defensive pessimism.
All right.
I want to know what I am.
Yeah, so you're going to go to the website and you're going to find that out. Okay.
I like negative first, then positive, embrace.
All right, so you're going to use the optimistic form of but.
Right.
I'm going to look for more ponies.
Look for that's wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, this is a pessimist. Now what are we going to do about it? And here's an optimist. Now, what are we going to do about it?